this time last season, Xerxes was the only one over the line. So it's not, we're not exactly moving slower than usual.
We can't use, this time last season as an indicator purely on how bad our season was last season. That was so bad that we have the biggest issues out of any Premier League side, I would say. The other teams that failed are not in the league anymore. Spurs are in the Champions League. It's a different situation. They got a new manager. They're changing up their situation. So Man United, out of all the teams that played last season, were the worst.
No, I hear you, but don't you say like the desperation has gone up, but then the situation to actually cater to that desperation has gone down, and that one I think has probably sank further.
So the fact that we finished that low is why we can't solve these problems so quickly as well.
No, like, but then they are connected. That doesn't. No, that's still wrong in a way. We're still like.
I'm not happy with it. It's just.
I'm not saying this. I'm not saying you're happy with Man United, right? I'm saying that where Man United is, we've kind of like accepted this as this is not acceptable what's happening right now. Man United had a horrible season, and we should be on the front foot trying to let the fans. They said they apologized to the fans. They cancelled barbecues, they cancelled parties, they've stopped certain incentives for staff, and they've got rid of so much. Well, to what end? Why?
Good times are coming, KG. Good times are coming. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, that was just word. Those are just words, right? He struggled with his season, with his team last season. So either you're telling me that he's learned so much in this off season that he's going to be able to use the players now, and that would be like the height of delusion if we was to say that. So really, he needs players, and we're failing him. But still, along with what Ashley Young's saying, it doesn't give him a pass. He now needs to make this work, or he's going to be gone. You know what I mean? It's that simple. Man United, our first game is against an Arsenal side who are strengthening. They're talking about as a by the time the season starts, I imagine Gyökeres will be them by then. But they were better than us last season. So we're still meeting that same good Arsenal that are good in the air, and they have now the weapons up front. We can't afford to say we should be the most proactive team in the Premier League, and we're not. And that is a big worry. Like, that's more worrying than anything, because I'm just talking about getting in distance of the top half of the table. Not to mention the other stuff. You got our goalkeepers come back injured, guys. This is where we find ourselves.
Yeah, no, I agree. Marcel, you're nodding your head.
Desperate feeling equals desperate times equals desperate measures. We should be selling players for £5 million. I've been saying it a long time ago. And I was talking about making sure that we had a degree of readiness for the very first time that we kick a ball for the first preseason, and you've accumulated your little 50 million, and you work from there. And you go in the free market and you bring 5 or 6, 7 players in, because we can't shop at Waitrose. We've got to go to Lidl. We've got to go to Netto. And it's just what you have to do right now. For me, that was just really the mindset. You've got to go and accumulate your 50, 60 million, getting rid of those players, getting the wages off the books, and then you get an Ndidi. Okay, it's what you have to do right now to patch up a few things. You get a couple youth players in as well, but you build from there. He can, like what KG's saying, you cannot sit there with the exact same players and expect something different to happen. So I would rather get an Ndidi in and at least you're bringing 7 new footballers in that have a new set of abilities and characteristics for this system. Because clearly, the likes of Garnacho is not going to do it. And yes, again, I'm going really desperate and dramatic with the number. It's not going to be 50 million. Garnacho, you should be able to drop it down to a 30, 25. Rashi, you should be able to drop it down to a 50, 25. You have to, no, but KG, you have, and what it is, KG, as well, we have to go and offer these players to the clubs. Why am I seeing so much, this player's offered to Man United, that player's offered to Man United? Why is Man United not offering XYZ player to XYZ club? It doesn't make no sense. I'm not seeing enough of those reports. I need to be seeing thousands of those over the next 5 days. Thousands and millions. So for me, it's just really frustrating. And that's why I'm in the desperation mode, because from last week, I was thinking, it's okay. The next 7 days, I'm going to see something. I'm going to get a conversation from Sir Jim. I'm going to see 2 players walking in the door. It's 2 weeks now into pre-season, and my manager was telling you last season he wants set XYZ amount of players in through the door at the start, and he knows he can't do what he wants with this system with these players. So we're in a big. And then when you think about the competition, again, City you've added as well. I forgot to mention City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. Well, that's the top 4 done and dusted. It's done and dusted. So we need to add footballers. There's no way we cannot add footballers. And for whatever price it is, get red.
Marcel,
I'm sorry, I can't get on board with this. 2 years from now, we're doing the exact same thing because we've signed Ndidi, we've signed Dominic Calvert-Lewin, we've signed Tolisso. You see him in the news today. We signed these players. This is how we got here because we signed Eriksen, because we signed, I'm not blaming them, but they're too old. We signed Casemiro. We did this where we said, oh my God, we've got to get players in. Andy Mitten said that we signed Donny van de Beek to placate fans because fans were upset about us not signing players. And that's what people are begging for. And this is why I can't go that route. And I look at it and I'm like, this is where I can't get on board with some of the panic. You take it and then you say, we're going to create problems for ourselves again 2 years from now. What we're doing now, it sucks, but we have not signed problems that are going to kill us 2 years from now, which we've done every single summer for the last 10 years. We've signed so many, we all the way back to the Schmidfield. We've been signing players since 2014 that have made it. We cannot do more in the next 2 years. We're signing young players. We're signing guys like Leon, and these are fine. And we're signing players that we can be sure of. That strategy is good. It's the execution that has to speed up and improve. The strategy is okay. I don't think there's a better way to spend 120 million at United than getting 2 players who are definitely going to work, rather than get 6 players where half of them are a problem 2 years from now. I can't get on board with that route.
I don't think there's a middle ground to that though, James. There's a middle ground to that. Firstly, the first box that needs to be ticked that was never ticked was it has to be a player that the manager wants. Casemiro was not wanted. He just wasn't wanted at the club. So there has to be certain criteria that is ticked within that. And if the manager wants the player, then you go and get him. And for me, I don't think you see a problem in 2-3. I don't know about Calvert-Lewin, but I don't see.
I'm not even. We don't even do bro.
If it's Mateta, then I don't see a problem in 2-3 years time. So again, there's a middle ground to that.
I think when you look at players, so like there's obviously that Richard Rios player that's available, and his price is not crazy. It's those kind of deals. It's getting involved in. It's getting involved in.
What if he's just good?
Yeah, are those kind of players though? There is this sort of like genre of player that I feel like every summer gets popular, and then like 2 years we're like, they're a bit shit, aren't they?
But then what do we not get involved in the market because that's on every player? Like any player can be good. And Mbeumo could be shit at Man United.
But we've got much better reference point for him. We've got much better reference point for Brian Mbeumo than we do for Richard Rios. How many times have you watched Brian Mbeumo play versus how many times have you seen Richard Rios play?
Way more.
And he's in the Premier League. He's in the Premier League.
He'll play against the same people. He just has to do it again.
Yeah, exactly. He's playing against 19 of the same teams he played against last year. He's going to play against next year.
It'll be fine.
I think it's just saying that we should try and when there's little market opportunities, we should try and be there. The good one. I'm not saying go and sign trash. I'm saying like the decent players that Man United, you could have got that player. Because let's not forget, we're the same Man United that had Caicedo offered to us for 5 or something million, and we missed out.
When we make those signings, people say they don't count. We signed him. What if he's Caicedo? What if Diego Leon is the Caicedo? And then we say, oh, it doesn't count.
But what about this as well?
Today? What if those are the guys?
Yeah, and I would guarantee under this new strategy, if that had happened now, we'd have signed him. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying he would.
We would have.
But
or Julian Alvarez, right? Like we missed out on like Julian Alvarez, Caicedo. Today we would sign those players, but today we sign them and people would go, "It's not good enough," which is fair enough. But they're the things we still have to do in addition to these big signings. I think we're doing good on that front. I think we're doing good on those things, but not on the first.
That's the positive. And just to piggyback off what Marcel was saying, I hear what you're saying. Like, you just want to get them gone for whatever price necessary. And I know you're being a bit hyperbolic with the numbers, but the number that you just quoted there for Garnacho, with the desperate number, is what Chelsea got for their third choice goalkeeper, who's gone to Bournemouth, Petrovic. So, and that was a player who was desperately not wanted, said he wanted to leave. Like, I've looked at all this crap that he's been saying on socials as well. Like, he missed training a few times. He started showing up late. He's an unwanted player. So, and we got to remember, we all live in this Man United bubble where everything that we say is worse than everybody else because people talk about it all the time. But Petrovic was an unwanted goalkeeper that's gone to Bournemouth. And it's like, they know how to get value out of their players. It's now up to Ineos to say, can we get some good value out of ours? Because I just want market value. It doesn't have to be like perceived. It doesn't have to be this. Drop it down a little bit. But I'm sorry, if Gittins is 55 million, Garnacho clears him. So it's like, if we got and then I would drop it. If we got Gittins money for him, I'd be pretty happy with that at this stage. But then even that's probably not enough considering who he's up against, who you can compare him to. And again, that if we were to just wait a little bit, even if it means we can't start the season perfectly, and again, I'm going far in the future here, but if we do end up getting the money that we want, that then enables us to buy 2 to 3 more players depending on the numbers. That's why we need to really hone in now and use that money wisely in the market. Because if we don't, bro, we'll be in this position next season again. This is the time to suffer that pain, unfortunately, and accept that this is where we have to be. Because guys, we finished 15th. I hear you. Like, that's where we are. That's where we're upset. That's where we're angry. That's where they should be.
Last season, bro.
No, but bro, that's where we should be upset.
No more, bro.
Yeah, but last season in the window, none of us could have expected this to happen. No one expected this to happen last season. No one did. It was on no one's bingo card. Maybe that we would sack Ten Hag, whatever. But no one could say we'd sack him at 6th and end up 15th. And no one could say that the players that Ineos have brought in were like, they actually turned out, some of them okay. But a lot of them and a lot of the players around them did what they did. No one could say Rashid would say what he did in December or what Garner would say from January onwards. Like, you can't predict these things. So it's just this summer, unfortunately, these are the cards we're dealt.